Welcome to Panfish Nation, folks. Sorry about that. I was running late. Lyle's gonna beat me with a wet noodle for I got your back, buddy. Don't worry about it.
It's a good thing, yeah.
All right. What's up, everybody? How you doing? We're gonna talk spring fishing. Lyle, I think spring finally made it here, bud.
I do too. We got rain tonight, Mark, which is a good thing.
62 degrees. You be quiet. I got to brag a little bit. We got 62 degrees right now.
62.
62. It's like t-shirt weather. It's fantastic.
It's actually warmer there than it is here. We're at 50.
It got up to 70 yesterday. It was pretty nice, but I was busy working on the wife's car. I don't even want to get in all of that and some other stuff. So it's been busy. I didn't have a truck all last week, but I'm back. I finally got, she's got a ride to work and back. So I don't need to make that 3-hour trip every day. I got her car. Well, yeah, her car's back. I got my truck for pulling my boat. So we're back in business.
Do we need to talk about your truck?
Yeah, how awesome it is. All I did was change
No, it's not.
What are you talking about? And a radiator cap. Don't give me no lip, Ford boy. I told you when we meet up, we're hooking up. I'll bring a tow strap and
I got you, man.
We'll see what's going on. Oh, Jesus.
I'm glad you got it fixed. I've been there. I think we all have at some point in time and have vehicle problems, but we're finally getting some rain. You know, we was dry all last summer and all the water systems in our area was really low. All the ponds actually in my area had some of them had actually went completely dry. And there's one between here and Bolivar that was like a stair step, and there was 4 ponds in there. They actually took 2 of them out because they was completely dry, and they're just making a drain now for the 2 of them. The one on the very top and the one on the very bottom are still getting water supplied to them. For the other 2, that goes them out. And then there's a lot of them that people, when they was low, people was having hose, dyna hose, extended hose, stuff like that go in, and dredge clams on different things to go in and clean the ponds out, which was a good time to do it because you can get all that silt and mud and stuff out of there and make them deeper like it probably was when they was new. A lot of the ponds that was really low were now full or nearly full. The creeks, the small rivers are running like they're supposed to be. And we're getting some water in our lake systems because they was all really, really low. So
I
that's right, Jeremy. That is 100% correct.
How much did he pay to stay
that, my bacon?
How much did he pay? I know Jeremy's got a lot of water down there by him. He got 5 inches of rain today down by him.
Wow. Well, it's rained pretty much all day here, but it's not been hard rain. But we'll take any little bit we can get. Like I say, we desperately have needed it all summer. So I'm very glad to see it.
I just, I heard you talking, but I stopped listening when you said stair steps because once those fill up with water, a lot of oxygen. I'm thinking in the dead of summer, you want to fish there. I'm thinking when ice out happens, you want to fish right at the bottom of those because that oxygen really gets them going at those times of the year, 100%. But I get what you're saying. What are you laughing about?
Ernie Brown's comment. I can't believe he'd say that to me. I don't know what happened. For some reason, you had. I don't know if it's just my stuff or not. When we started, I had you loud and strong, and now your audio is not as strong as it was. It must be on my end. Nobody else is saying anything.
I don't know. Look, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can or you can't. I'd appreciate it if you did. And once they can confirm that, we'll say hello to all the good people.
I think that's a great idea.
So, yeah, I got all those while I'm waiting for an answer here. We got all those car problems worked out. While I was waiting for parts for multiple days, I got the boat ready. I'm kind of, it costs a lot of money to fix cars these days. So I'm going to.
Yes, it does.
Yep, I'm definitely. Thank you very much, Wolfston. I'm going to have to pass on a trip I was going to take this weekend to fish with Jerry and Josh, unfortunately, because it was crazy. But we'll make it happen. Hopefully sooner than later. That's the nicest thing Chad's ever said to me, right there.
Sounds normal.
Let me say hello to everybody. I see 205 Wild Action in the house. What's going on? Miss Annette's Catfishing. How you doing, dear? Brian B. Catfishing in the house. Two Stands Fishing just popped in there. There's our buddy Buck Williams. How you doing, Buck? Crappie Day Fish On channel member. What's going on, my friend? Creole Catfishing. How you doing, Jeremy? Danny Stone Outdoors. What's up, Danny? Downtown Ernie Brown bragging about the crappies a minute ago, wasn't he? Is that what he said? I kind of missed him. Anyways, welcome, Ernie. How you doing? Hopefully you and Chris are good. There's Chad on vacation over at Fields to Water, fishing with Steve Mosley. How you doing, Steve? John Boy's Catfishing is here too. Parker Pursuits is present. We'll see what Parker has to say entertaining today. And no, Jerry, that is not a challenge. There's my buddy Ryan over at Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes. There's Schmieder of the Cedars. What's going on? Stonefly71. How you doing? Wolfston Outdoors is also here. Did I miss anybody? 205. I think I said hello. What about you, Lyle? You seen? Oh, there's Lance. Lance just popped in here. How you doing, Lance?
Annette?
I wouldn't miss Annette. I saw her right off the bat. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Everybody's keeping healthy. We want to make sure we keep people that need it in our thoughts and prayers, especially Tim Molina. Also, David from Double Hook Anglings for sure. He's recovering well. Last time I checked in with him on his show on Friday morning, he does coffee or he ties jigs and talks every Friday morning. So check him out on Double Hook Angling. So.
I do have a comment about Dave on Friday mornings.
If you can't say nothing nice, Lyle, don't say it at all.
It's not anything not nice about Dave.
Okay, I was just kidding, guys.
It's just a little early for me. Some Friday mornings, I'm just not out of bed early enough to see.
I always seem to catch it at the end. I don't need to get up until 9 o'clock to start working. Sometimes I'll get in on one of those overnight shows. I'll wake up because the dogs seem to want to go out. Actually, I think they're just thirsty, and the wife won't put a water bowl in the bedroom, but that's too much.
There actually has been a time, Mark, when I got up early and was waiting for him to come on and dozed off and slept through the show.
Hey, there's D. How you doing, D? Hopefully you're enjoying your time away from home.
D, like member for 14 months. Thank you, D.
Looks like they're having a lot of fun out there, doesn't it?
Sounds like they're eating really well, too. I think Michelle has hooked them up.
Doubt. Michelle's there and Tom's there, you know.
There's been wild
enjoy it.
Glad to see them in here.
What's going on, Benoit Fishing? How you doing?
Wolf's Den Outdoors.
I think we got him.
Did you? Okay.
I think we did.
I'm still a little bit on the slack side.
I understand. I got you covered. I won't tell him you were late, though, Lyle. All right? I won't say that. I wouldn't play you like that.
I have something here, Mark, that I've had for some time, and you did send me some jigs when you started pouring jigs and making your own. You sent me some, and they're very nice. And I haven't got to use any of them yet, but I got my stuff out to use them. One of the things that I've been told for a few years, it started out nicely, I was being told, but if I ever complained or said anything because I wasn't catching fish, I would get a chewing from a mutual friend of ours, James Dockery. But I have this box, Mark, and I got it right here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but this has 1-inch tube jigs in it,
which James loves using, rightfully so.
He does love using tube jigs. And
real quick,
what's that?
Crappie Day Fish On. Thank you for being a member for 15 months. He says, release the grease.
That is awesome. And I kind of agree with some of that. one of the things that I had a problem with that I never liked tube jigs, Mark, was the fact that they would always slide back and forth on the hook. Now, you remedied that problem for me, but I do have another solution for them that you can see, 1-inch tube jigs.
Hold on 1 second. Let me give you the solo layout so you can show everybody.
Okay.
Look at that.
Now, they are a little small for the average guy, and I've got them from everything from 1/64 of an ounce jig head to 1/8 of an ounce jig head. I don't see any need for anything any bigger than that at this time. 1/80th is pretty small. 1/64 is pretty small. 1/32nd, 1/16th, 1/8th. They're right in there. We're dependent on the body of water and the size of fish you're using and how active they are. Now, I really like these, and I can't wait to try out the ones you do. But if you're having problems with these and you don't have any with the hook keepers on it, like Mark's got, just use super glue.
Super glue.
And
they also sell those tube weights, which are jig hooks. The super glue always works.
Correct.
Jig hooks with the weight actually, it's like a long collar without the head. Those work good, but they're a specialty item. If you use a lot of tube jigs, they'd probably pay off. But if you're going to use just regular hooks, ones with keepers on them will work definitely in a pinch. I saw a comment here. Ryan from Setting Hooks Across the Guy says, time to get ready for flathead season, Lyle.
It's true. And for flathead, what do you need? Bait.
And I'm going to get my bait tank tomorrow since it's going to rain here.
Sweet.
Get her all set up. And then you know what I'm going to do, Lyle?
Go catch bait.
I'm going to go catch some fish.
What do you say we welcome everybody in chat?
We did that already.
Oh, yeah. I knew that. I still have sleep.
That's okay. Hey, I didn't tell on you. You just told on yourself.
That's okay. These jig heads, I'm anxious to use these. I only used them once or twice last year, and I hate to admit that Dockery's ever right, but I had great success with them when I did use them. Now, I prefer hand ties because I enjoy making them, and there's nothing better than catching something on stuff you make.
You have like a trillion of them.
You'd be surprised how close you are.
Lyle has Lyle's tied one jig for every $1 of the national debt, I think.
Oh, that's probably true. That's probably true. But I enjoy doing it. I sat here this afternoon and I don't know how many I tied up, several. But I enjoy doing it. It's fun. Takes your mind off things. And the most fun I have with hand tying stuff is coming up with new stuff. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's all brand new design stuff. Sometimes I'll change existing patterns and try to improve on them. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. But if they catch more fish, I consider that a success. Or in a lot of cases that people don't understand, it doesn't matter whether you're buying hand ties or fishing rods or reels or whatever it is. If you can catch more fishermen and women, it's a great success also. Because let's face it, people want stuff that is pretty, appealing to their eyes. And if they're appealing to a fisherman, being man or woman, and it catches more fish on top of that, boom, you've done hit a home run.
All the better.
In the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded, baby.
Mike Irvin, welcome. I see Missy popped in here. What's going on, Missy? I also see who did I see over here? Oh, there's Freddie over at FOA. What's going on? He's making some mugs. Thought he said he was mean mugging us from where he's at. And John Boy's catfish. I don't know if I missed him or not. 903 Fishing in the house. What's going on, bud? How you doing?
Glad to see him in here. He's always got new video and content out, so be sure to check 903 out.
And he does his live show, which I kind of sit back and watch on Sunday nights because I'm too tired.
I do too.
To keep up and chat with
all information on his channel.
100%, and keep up with chat with all them young folks in there. But
we had him on as a guest.
We did.
Well, here a while back. We might ought to revisit that. There's a lot of new stuff he's come out with since then.
Well, I'm thinking, with him being down in Texas with the spawn coming on, he's probably pretty darn busy right now. So
he probably is. Yeah.
Maybe we can get him at a later date. We'll keep that. He's also busy being a teacher as well. If you guys
he is, and we thank him for that, because that'd be a job I'm not interested in. I was a kid in school once.
You remember that far back? I don't.
Yes, barely, but yeah.
I don't remember that far back. You had mentioned something I wanted to talk about here first, even for a second. You mentioned you had some of those hand ties you wanted to experiment with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've bought plenty of jigs before I tied jigs. I bought plenty of baits and stuff that I wanted to do the exact same thing. And this is before I had live scope. I would take a bait or even worms or minnows, something that I know would work, and use that until I found the fish. And once I found the fish, then it was time to start experimenting. And when I say I learned that the hard way, I remember throwing the bait that I wanted to test out time after time after time, and not catching anything, and thinking to myself, I wonder if there isn't any fish there at all. So just wanted to say that now that I got live scope, I don't need to do that. I can just use cheater scope.
The fish are there. That's just finding what they want.
Yeah, no kidding. Sometimes they don't want anything, I got all that live scope set up in my boat, Lyle, and I go cruising down the river, and then fish just don't jump in my boat, believe it or not.
There's one thing, and there's a lot of people that are not big proponents of live scope. But just because you got it doesn't mean you can make them bite, because they're either going to bite or they're not. And if you don't have the right presentation, the right bait, the right whatever, it doesn't matter if you find them or not. If they don't go, they don't go.
We can get into we can really get into this, but I'm an old man. I've fished for a long time. There's nothing wrong with making it easier. It's like, consider my live scope like that chair elevator that you get when you're really, really old, Lyle. Consider that.
I'm glad I don't have no stairs.
You can consider it that way, or all the haters, you can call them fish Karens, whatever you want to call them. I think I called somebody that today online. I had enough of them. So
thank you so much, 903. We appreciate it very much.
Have a blessed week yourself. Thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate you, bud. There's our buddy Squirrel over at Fishing with Squirrel. What's going on, Dawson? How you doing?
Glad to see Dawson in here. Here's
Eric Massey. He says, if it was on my boat, I'd use it. See, there you go.
And that's the same thing I hit with Jeremy.
Let's see. Oh.
Oh, man.
Wait, Danny Stone had a comment here he wants us to read. He said, read his last comment. I'm looking for it, Lyle. Danny Stone says, Lyle, my friend, loved your suggestion for the crappie rod and reel. Ordered them today and said to tell you thanks, or whoever he did. So
that's very good. I got a message from Danny. I believe it was yesterday. I'm sure it was. Sometimes my days run together a little bit. About a friend of his that didn't want to break the bank and wanted a recommendation for a crappie bluegill type rod and reel setup that wouldn't break the bank and would give him more than just a year of quality work. So what I recommended him was a Berkeley cherrywood rod, and they make them in ultralight, and they don't come as they don't tell you that they're a graphite or carbon or this or that. They use some of the wording to let you know that it's some kind of lightweight, very strong, productive rod. And they are very nice quality for around $30 in about any length that you want. And very impressed with them as a production rod. Of course, I build rods, Mark, and I'm kind of particular about the blanks and stuff that I use, but these are really high quality for the money. They're probably the best bang for the buck that I've seen in a long time. And then the other thing was a reel, and I recommended a Sienna spinning reel.
Very good budget reel, definitely.
For a budget reel, they are high quality. I've got a couple of them that I've been using for a couple of years now with zero problems. They're very smooth. They cast really well. And I'm running 4 and 6 pound line on the ones that I have, and I just have no issues. If I don't have problems with them, I can recommend them. If I have issues with something like that, then I don't recommend them to people. But when Danny approached me, I was happy to help them out. And of course, I'd love to sell them a rod, but when I can't compete with 30 rod. These blanks cost.
With a $30 rod,
they just the blanks I use cost more than that. And
it's the beauty with pan fishing, right? You can go as expensive as you want. You can go as cheap as you want.
That's right.
All gonna work, plain and simple.
And that goes with rods, reels. I really recommend that you buy the best quality hook that you can afford. Never spend more money on anything for fishing than you can afford. Don't break the bank doing it, but buy the best hook that you can afford.
And have them in an assortment of size so you can change them and stuff.
That's right. The hooks are something that's like hand-to-hand combat, and this is your feet with your opponent. You've got to have something that'll do the job. You can get away with cheaper line and cheaper rods and reels and stuff, but the hook, you just need to buy the best quality one you can get.
I'm going to take a step back. To me, I think line's pretty important too.
It is, because you'll break
not the brand or the kind, but make sure you got fresh line, or you're cutting off the end the line that's frayed and kinked and stuff. So you're going to get a better cast. It's going to go through the eyes a lot better. It's going to catch less wind actually. So I mean, at least I believe so. I think that's important too. The rest of it's all it's just got to work for the most part.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, also, I think you asked me about those Piscifun Carbon X reels. Those are pretty.
Yes.
Those are nice ones too. I don't know how much those Siennas are. It's been a while. I have one since I bought it.
$29.
How much?
$29.
How many?
29. And I believe you can get them for a couple bucks less than that on sale at different places, but I think the standard go-to price right now is around $29.
Well, that's a heck of a deal. $30 ain't much this
for a quality piece as dollar for dollar they are. That I consider them one of the best bangs. Yeah.
It's like 2 Happy Meals nowadays.
Or fish sandwiches in our case.
Parker says, fishing these crystal clear creeks gives you the opportunity to watch action on new baits and see how the fish react to it. Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Buckeye Catfishing joined us. What's going on? Says, I've only used my live scope to get shad. It works perfect for that. 100%.
I have no doubt that it's great for catching bait. Eric Massey says, a stair lift one day I might need to get in my boat.
I got stairs on the front of mine. I wonder if I can bolt the lift to it. Plain and simple.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Oh, and yep.
I had one stair on the front of my boat when Chad and Dee was over here, and I used it to get in the boat one day when we took it out to Lake Ozarks, and Dee did too. She got up in her. Chad not so much. He waited till we both launched the boat, put it at the dock so he'd get in it. But Dee made it with one stair that day, and I got to tell her the next time it'll be so much easier now to get the other one on there. It was tough. There's a long reach from that bottom one plummet to the top. So there's one in between now.
Our crappie spawn has not started yet, at least where I'm at. And I'm up north. I'm right at the Wisconsin-Illinois border for the most part. 20 minutes, I'm into Wisconsin. Hasn't even started yet. They've been staging back and forth. So
that's what they're doing here. The last time I talked to Eric Massey, I have not been out. Eric, I believe I watched his live today. I didn't get to see it while he's live, but I watched it in its entirety after the fact. And he had a good show today. If you haven't checked that out, you might take a look at that. But he had stated that the crappie last Friday was on fire. But like I say, fronts move through in and out. And I know the last time I talked to him, he said they was up one day and then they was off. But he knows where the ramp or the dock is that I talk about on Palm de Terre. Cost you $2 a day to go in there. State Park Marina is what I tell you. And you can go in there for $2 and you can fish off these docks. And he was letting me know that they was on fire or would be on fire in there. And of course, whatever happened, and I wasn't able to go. I know it was. I was sick all last week. But that's a place you can go in there and you don't have to have a boat. There's plenty of structure and lots of fish. So good place to go down this area.
We have a lake over here called Three Oaks. I'm sure Ryan knows about it. Actually, Eric B just posted a video. He was catching some really big crappie over there. You got to pay to get in. You got to pay to park $5. And there's nowhere. There's busy roads all around it. There isn't much parking to be able to be had without driving all the way in there. But he was killing them. It's a catch and release only lake too, though. But he was doing really good.
So good entertainment, though.
It is entertainment, but I'm looking
$5 cheaper than going to the movies.
You can't buy popcorn for $5.
That's what
Stonefly wants to know what the name of that rod is again, Lyle.
It's Berkeley Cherry Woods, and I found some very reasonable at Grizzly Jig. Check them out. They come in different lengths, all the way up to 7 foot, from 5.5, I think, or 4.5. I prefer the 6.6, 7 foot. My preference. That's for everybody else. James has got me talked into something that I never thought I would say, but for panfish stuff, they use Katie's car a lot. And he likes 2-piece rods. And I never thought that I would say that. My pickup has a 6 foot bed. 2-piece rods work really well if you're just fishing off the bank. You can cut them in half and put them in the back seat. My fly rods are 2 and 4 piece, depending on which one I've used. Makes it really handy if you don't want to get out in the back of the truck. I like to cut up. I use the 2-piece rods and put them in the back, and then I just back up to wherever I'm going to fish and let the tailgate down. I got all my baits and everything right there in the tailgate. The rod, you just pull out what you want. Usually, if I'm walking more than just a step or two, I take 2 or 3 with me. You either break off or you not catch nothing. You want to try different ones, and I got them all right there with me. I don't have to walk back and forth the truck too many times. Just how I do it.
You had mentioned the length of the rods that you're using. I got, when I first started crappie fishing around these parts, right, solo, looking for them, trying to figure them out and stuff, I was using 7.5 foot rods because I needed to get them baits way out there. Weighted bobber, the whole deal. I was casting them as far as I could to get on a couple of weed beds and stuff where I eventually did find crappie. So I got used to using those longer rods. Comparative to, even if you look at a high dollar St. Croix or a Grant rod, they're all around 5.5 or 6 feet. That's just normal. But I got used to using those ACC crappie sticks that I bought a while back, which they're 2-piece, Lyle. And the only reason why I mention that is because if you break the tip on those, you can buy just the top half of the rod.
And that's not with all rods. That's not with all rods, but I'm glad to know that they do offer that. I had a guy that I know his son brought a rod by that is made in New Zealand. They shut the tip of it in a car door. It's his favorite rod. Had it for years. I finally got a blank. It took months and months and months to get this thing, but I had to send the broken piece in to New Zealand, and they shipped the new one back. Believe it or not, shipping with the tip was over $100 from New Zealand. With the tip, now that included a tip, but still $50-$60 for shipping for a 2.5 foot piece.
Well, you know what though, New Zealand is a long way.
It is, but it ain't that much. I shipped
on, man. How you doing, Mike?
A lot less than that.
Mike Irvin joined us. Bugman joined us too. How you guys doing?
Good to see you guys in here. I just got a couple of pictures sent to me from.
You want to send them to me so I can?
Pardon me.
You want to send them to me and I can share them so you don't share what you're not supposed to?
Oh, we'll just leave it.
Or maybe Matt will send
appears to be goggle eye or warmouth. I'm not sure what they are, but that's what it appears to be. Very nice fish. I assume that he caught those today. They look awesome.
Two Stan's Fishing. What's going on, Stan? He says, I think the lighter the line you use, the better the reel needs to be. Smoother drag when you land that monster on super light line. Now, I agree, but I kind of go about it a different way. A lot of people will say use a 500 series or a 1000 series reel. I'll upsize to a 2000 just so it's got a bigger spool on there, Lyle.
I understand.
Bigger spool means smoother casts, 100%. So you can get away with one of them Siennas if you get it in like a 2000 series. Granted, you got to put a little more line on it. I think I bought a spool of 4-pound Sufix. They're like entry-level stuff in a high-vis color for like $8.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. Till you get into those super lines and stuff. But Stan is definitely right. I mean, you got to consider that. Hey, what's going on, Richard?
Glad to see Richard in here. He said he recently bought some nice panfish rods and reels, but I bet I've caught more fish on a Walmart Mr. Crappie slab shaker than any rod I'll ever own. And I would say that with a Zebco 202.
Yeah, or a 33. And, he mentions the Mr. Crappie. Mr. Crappie's been doing this forever. They got all their stuff in Walmart. We probably know where they get their stuff from. But
sure.
You never hear anybody complain about their stuff. You really don't. So you can't go wrong, whether it's with the Mr. Crappie line or whatever, if you're just trying to get in there. Once you get into the other stuff, the more expensive stuff, it's either a small shop or a specialty shop or specialty high performance line. You don't really need it. Sometimes, if you're into it's like a woman with shoes, or my wife, I should say, with shoes. You just got to have it. You know what I mean?
That's right. You can't turn it down. Eric Massey says, I want an electric chairlift. I wouldn't have a manual one, Eric. You got to go for the gusto, man.
Hey, there's PD. How you doing, bud? Hopefully you're well.
Good to see you in here. Here's another great comment. 205 says going after some 12 and 14 ounce bluegill next week.
Nice.
16. I'm sorry. Them giants.
Hold on. Let me check my phone for an invite. Nope, didn't get it. How about you, Lyle?
No. Them are giants, so I hope you get on them. If you do, we expect to see some pictures, and you can always send them to Josh at the Weekend Angler and get them on the Catfish Weekly bragging board. Wabash Nate. Oh, go ahead.
Wabash Nate says, I think I got a nice Lose 1000 for $20 at Walmart. Yep, check them out.
That's worth the dough if you got one for $20. I'll look next time I'm at it. Well, I won't have them here, but I'll look next time I'm at a bigger Walmart, because if you get them for $20, I'd probably take a couple of those. I've had really good success rate with Lose reels. Now, I've not tried their rods or anything like that. I know they do have rods and stuff on the market now, but I've had really good success with the reels.
PD Fishing says, is it me, or do Lyle get prettier every time I see him? I'd have to agree with that.
I don't think that's the case, really.
Eric Massey says cold weather keeps shutting them down. It's like that every year up here, Eric, where I'm at. They start and then they stop. They start and then they stop. Wait, what did we miss?
Way north, dude. Creole says Sac-a-lait spawn has just begun here in the lakes and Oxbows. And for you non-Creole speaking folks, Sac-a-lait means crappie.
Crappie, specks, calico bass, sockeye.
Yeah, there's a lot of different words for them. They call it the guys out east call them crappie. I haven't figured out, why would you call anything that tastes that good crap?
I don't know. They just think it's fun.
Look at here, Ray Smith, my buddy from Arkansas, member for 13 months, joined us in chat. Thank you so much, Ray. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Ray, for your support. We got Donald Knight over at 3 Nights Fishing showed up, and Austin over at Fishing Fever. What's going on, Austin?
Oh, glad to see those guys. Austin's been killing it, too. If you haven't checked out his videos, be sure to do that. Wabash Nate says, I love my medium action cherry rods. I have one that was at my brother's house one day several years ago. and he had wanted a certain kind of rod. I built him a rod, took it up and give it to him one day. We stand outside visiting, and I'm sure they're still there. I'm sure my sister-in-law hasn't done anything with them, but he had an outside building up by his carport there. He kept fishing stuff in, and he had 3 or 4 brand new 606 Zebco setups, brand new, still in the tag. They hadn't made them in years, and it was in there. And he said, "Here's something you'll probably like." And he pulled out this old cherry wood with a Mitchell reel on it. And I said, "Yeah, for a production rod, I love them things." And I said, "I used to have a bunch of them, but I just wore them out, beat them up, and they wasn't worth fixing." He said, "Well, here, I'll give you this one." And he gave it to me, and I used it, and it sat around. And here a year or two ago, I wasn't real busy, and I took all the guides off of it and rebuilt the blank, rewrapped all the guides and all the stuff on it. And I have it set now that he's passed away. It's sitting out in the garage, and I probably need to clean it up a little bit and bring it in and just put it in this rod rack I have in here that Richard Ward gave me, because I'll not get anything else from him, And it's one that he used and I used, and then I rebuilt, and I've used it a time or two since. But since it was Mark's, I probably should bring it in here and put it in there, because, like I say, there'll be no more come from him. And him and I was very close as I grew up, so I probably would do that.
Did you say you rebuild rods too?
No.
I thought that. No, I heard that. I can replay that for the people if they want.
Here's the thing, Mark, and it's not that I mind doing it. It just costs more because you have to tear it all the way apart and put it all back together. It's a lot cheaper to either.
Oh, I wasn't going to pay you for it.
No, I'm just saying. I get a lot of people ask me about that stuff, unless it's a family memento or something special. It's just not feasible to rebuild a production rod. It costs more to do than it's really worked. Now, with that being said, Harold Dodd, great friend of mine, one of the greatest fishermen, cat fishermen that ever walked face this earth. Him and Ricky Brackett used to buy catfishing rods because nobody made a blank that they liked, and they would buy brand new 10-foot rods from Bass Pro Shop, send them to me. I would strip the cheap cork off of them and all the guides and reel seeds off of them, and have the blank sitting there, and put a Fuji reel seed on. I would put new cork on them and finish the cork like they wanted it, and wrap stainless guides on it for them. And they send them to me brand new with the tags on them, 2 and 3, 4 at a time. And that's what they wanted. Riverboat captains know what they want. They're both riverboat captains for a big barge line company. And of course, Harold's retired now. Ricky's not, but he's quit fishing. But they would send them to me, and I would tear them apart brand spanking new and do it, because that's the blanks that they wanted rods built on, and they hated the way that they was made from the factory. And whatever Harold Dodd wants, Harold Dodd gets for me. I mean, he's just that kind of guy. He's a guy that caught the year that 2 100-pound fish was caught in a king cat tournament, I don't know, probably 15 years ago or longer now. He was one of the guys that caught the 108. So
nice.
Yeah. Great fisherman. Very knowledgeable.
Hey, there's Dustin over at Team Snag and Whiskers. What's going on, Dustin? How you doing?
Good to see him in here tonight.
Jeremy says, crappie for all you Yankees. He considers everybody north of him a Yankee. We know.
Well, that's the way Texas folks are. If you're from north of the Red River, you're a Yankee. Fishing for Freedom says, I had some cherrywood bass rods when he was a teenager. They were great rods. Yeah, that's how I got interested in them. It was really good.
I'm going to have to take a look and see what they're at. And he's spending more of my money, Lyle.
I'll help you with that. We can do that right after the show.
All right, but maybe you're on. Wait a minute. I forgot what I just spent to fix them cars. Never mind. The self-control.
Here's a great comment from Two Stands.
You said,
go ahead.
Stan says, I think the biggest thing you can do, regardless of cost, is match the size of the reel to the line, to the pole, to the lure weight. So no 10-pound test on a reel that calls for 4 to 6 pound. And
that is true with one exception. With one exception, that's if you're using braid
or leader.
Pardon me.
Or leader, if
right.
if you tie a long enough leader on there, if you don't have to cast too far, or if you're using like a float bob. Well, Stan is definitely right. There's always
he definitely is. Yeah, no question about it. With braid though, a 10-pound line is 2-pound diameter, and I'm not sure I would want anything smaller than that on lightweight stuff or ultra lightweight stuff. I've got some 10-pound, and I still get a little line knots in it if the wind's blowing too bad. So
I was going to mention that I'll use braid in a heartbeat on a vertical jigging rod. Like I got a couple I got a couple of longer ones that I've just started using that I picked up for a great deal, like some nice B&M graphite 11 footers I bought at Walmart for like $20, Lyle, on a clearance shelf last year. So I'll use those off the side of my boat with braid in a heartbeat, but I'm just terrible at casting braid that light or that small of a diameter, especially if there's a breeze. I get wind knots like crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep, I understand. I really do. Brian B says, I caught a monster bass today, but I cropped Chad in the picture to let him have it. I did see the picture of Chad's bass. 5.5 pounds. He was fishing for bait. They've been using bluegill out there fishing, and 5.5 pound bass on a piece of cut bait.
I am very proud to say that my PB bass came when I was bait fishing. I ain't never targeted them. I've targeted smallmouth, but like my PB largemouth bass came while I was bait fishing. I don't target them at all. So I understand what Chad.
Yeah, I got you. One of the things that used to irritate me, a lot of us started out fishing bass and crappie tournaments and graduated to catfish tournaments, and some of us actually come back to the bait fish, bass and crappie and stuff. The whole time that I'd done the bass stuff, 3.5, 4 pounds, biggest bass I ever caught in tournaments or anything. Never did catch any big ones. Done a lot better in catfish tournaments, so that's kind of where I was at. Hey, Greg, glad to see you in there, buddy. But I never did, and I would be like Chad. If I caught one like that, it would be the biggest bass I ever caught because I never caught big bass. Numbers could always catch numbers, but never size. And it's not been that way, especially with catfish. But yeah, the bass stuff was always, I never did score what I would consider big stuff. So
I have no problem with largemouth bass. They fry up like any other fish.
Damn right they do. And everyone that catching eats one less is going to eat our crappie and bluegill. Words spoken from a true fisherman right there.
What's up, Greg? I'm not going to repeat what a nurse told me earlier this week. We talked about that, Lyle. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to start that argument.
Told me that for years.
Matt says that he bought a Denali crappie tank rod on sale for $60 in Mountain Home. It's awesome. Put a Fluger Monarch on with it, 5-pound braid, super tough and light. Those Denali's are nice. SK over at SK's Crappie Catching Adventures recommends the Denali rods. He told me that I should be using them, but I'm going to wait until these ACCs get worn out or broke. So
I hear good things about both of them. You don't hear hardly any complaints about ACCs, but I did read where somebody didn't like because the spacing on the guides was too far apart on the ones that he was using. Didn't elaborate on which size it was. But you could say that about any of them.
Anything, yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're not going to make 100% of the people happy. I don't care what you do. So maybe he's right, and maybe they just didn't work for him. But there's a lot of guys that are really high on the Denalis also. I've not had a chance to use the Denali, so I can't make a comment on them.
They're on my list as well as the Outlaw rods that Eric uses. Those are
absolutely. Now that would be my next try if I was going to get one. If I trust Eric, if he says they're good, then chances are he's not making stuff up. He's going to tell you straight poop.
Yeah, I talked to him and he was telling me how sensitive they were after the owner actually showed him a demonstration. So check Outlaw out as well. I don't know what the prices are. I don't think they're that bad either.
No, I think they're pretty good. You know, Eric endorses some really good products. So if he says it's good, it's good. No question in my mind. So
it's got to be good if he's putting them gorgeous hand ties he does on there. Absolutely. He makes them pretty.
He does, and they catch a lot of fish. And he fishes a lot. By the way, if you want a guided trip on Palm de Terre Lake, give Eric Massey a call. He'll hook you up. Creole says Dad's Magic Panfish Lake should be getting right very soon. Need more of those 12-inch chickapin red ears. I hope I said that right. I'm not real good on Creole either.
Chinquapin?
But it's good to see our buddy Jeremy in here in chat and helping out with stuff. There's Frank from Twisted Fishing TV.
Yeah, if you guys need a tattoo, go see Frank in Indiana, Northern Indiana. He'll take good care of you.
He's been doing it a long time. Sean T Outdoors.
I got a comment from Sean T.
Oh, really?
On TikTok. And guess what? It wasn't very nice.
Oh, really? Find that hard to believe.
Oh, my God, you do catch fish. What's up, Stephanie?
Hey, Stephanie, glad to see you join us tonight. Always great to have you in chat, kiddo.
Hopefully you're safe down there, Shanti. I know you guys got some bad weather today.
Did they? Oh, man.
5 inches of rain, Creel was telling me.
Wow.
It's a lot of rain.
Here's another one. I spent the last 3 months finding a 1000 series reel for that price. Can't believe how much they go for. Believe it, baby. Believe it. Missy Kennedy says, I guess Petey needs to lay off the bottle if he thinks Lyle's getting prettier every time. Thank you so much, Missy. I hope you're feeling better.
I do
it's
too,
always
Missy.
Great to have you in chat, kid. We really do hope that you're doing better, though.
Frank over at Twisted Fishing TV says his 7'6" ACCs are the best all-around bank or boat multi-rig panfish rod I have ever used, not counting custom rods. I use my ACCs for anything and everything.
That's really a pretty good comment from somebody that does a lot of fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good, yeah. I like that. That's very good, Frank. Glad to know that. Because, like I say, that's another one. You have some. I have not had a chance to try them. So if I would make a comment on them, it wouldn't be from anything that I could back up. So if I can't, I don't. And that's how I think it should be.
Scrolling through the chats here.
Rick Burgess got over 8 inches. Wow. And there's Pontoon. Jody has joined us.
Hi, Jody. How you doing?
Glad to see
Frank
her.
Says it's almost against the law to use anything over 6 pounds for panfish.
Yeah.
And that's a good number right there because Zepco 33s comes spooled up with 6-pound test, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, most of them do. Oh, was it 33s do?
I believe so, yeah.
Really? I thought it was
Red Cajun, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Is what they come. All the ones that I have appear to be like Red Cajun. So, Dan Thompson, channel member, what's going on, bud? How you doing, sir?
Glad to see him in here. I might have Nate, but he's from Louisiana.
I think somebody from Zimbabwe or where do they doing that scams in Africa? Got a hold of Matt over at Want to Be Outdoors account. They're asking me for my credit card numbers now. Hey, Jody, how you doing?
I seen a comment, but I still can't. I can't find it again.
I'm falling behind. I'm trying to catch up to where you're at.
Well, the chat's really running pretty quick. I'm having a hard time staying up with it too. There's only 52 in here tonight, but they're doing a lot of talking.
Jerry Parker says best bag ever had in bass tournaments was on Kentucky Lake. 5 fish limit. All were 5-pound average. Big fish was 8 pounds. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right.
What kind of breading did you use on those, Jerry?
There is something that he never tells us, and Jerry catches a lot of fish, and I know because I've watched him release a lot of fish, but he never has told us how much fish he eats and takes home. But
I've seen him do some fillet videos and catch.
Yeah, but you don't see him putting them in a live well or
when I'm stuck at home because I can't fish whether it's raining or car problems. He's sending me crappie pictures. He goes, "Look what's for dinner." He's done that to me.
Well, alrighty then. Eric says, "Yes, some good eating right there."
Jody says, "You got a good crowd in here tonight." We have the best crowd in here, regardless of the number, Jody.
We have some of the greatest people watch this show of any shows going because we're all about having a good time. We try to be a little educational, but sometimes we get off on a food tangent or a political thing that Mark doesn't get the reel out in time.
I don't stop you anymore. I'm done. I see eye to eye with a lot of the
we have a good time is the point.
We got to have made some sort of FBI list by now.
Oh, no doubt.
On another note, Stonefly says, just picked up 100 132nd and 100 1/16th ounce jig heads from Venom Lure Company.
I don't know anything about Venom. I hope I'm sure they make good quality products. I've heard about them, but I've not heard anything about them, or I don't have any thing I can say about them. Jason, damn it, Brummel is where I buy all of my jigs and stuff, and you can buy them from Jason's Tackle, Jason Brummel on eBay. If you're interested in them, he has an eBay store, and he's got everything.
Yeah, or he'll make it for you.
Yeah, and that's what he does. When you get a hold of Jason, just tell him what you want, and it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 or 5,000, which
somebody I know might have done.
Yeah, and just in a day or two, he'll have them ready for you.
Day or two,
yeah, like 2 days.
I remember that.
It's crazy. Eric,
I ordered. I'm like, I want 250, and he's like, "That's it." Like, yeah, that's all I need.
Eric Massey will never forget that 5,000 either.
Yeah, he won't, or his son won't, because I believe that's who painted
it. And Eric's right. Eric made a comment in our chat, said he will go buy molds if he ain't got it, and he has, because Eric and I think at the same time was both after him for panhead jigs a year or two ago, and next thing I know, he sent me a message says, "I got that panhead mold."
Yeah, I got my eye on a couple of molds that I'm gonna probably pinch some pennies and save up for next winter and pour some other ones. I got to get some smaller ones, maybe some dart heads, stuff like that.
Yep,
something around down to like 1/80th and such. But
yep, he says I don't know how he does it. I don't either. And then the comment is
spin cast molds.
I'm sure that's right. He says poor old Zach, his son Zach, done all the powder coating on the kid. I can almost picture him, Zach, in my mind, sitting there with his eyes going, nodding off while he's powder coating them babies. Oh, man, that's funny. But, yeah, that was a couple of years ago now, I guess. Had it been Eric? Been a while. I haven't seen pictures of Zach lately. I bet he's really getting big now. Very, very nice young man, very polite. I met him once when I got those jigs from Eric. We met at a store between here and there, and had fun going through those. Yeah, so, but very polite young man. Him and Eric do a lot of fish together over on Palm de Terre and Truman, and I think they go to Lake Ozark once in a while too. But
I got to get out that way, and we all get into a boat. We'll have a good time.
Oh yeah, while we're at, might as well get our buddy from Kansas City come down too.
Yep. Kim Burnett.
Kim Burnett.
What's going on, Lynn? How you doing? Eric B. What's going on, Eric B? How you doing?
Brian, they would shoot me before I ever got close, buddy. Oh, if you're willing, if you can back me, I'm willing to make the
like I said during
running mate.
Like I said during the Golden Whiskers Awards multiple times, a vote for Lyle Stokes is a vote for America.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't allow me in there. There's reason for that, but we're sure glad to see you in chat tonight, Brian. It's always a pleasure to have you in there.
Brian says he's got your back, Lyle.
He's the man. Mark, I'm going to show you something I've been drinking a ton of since I was sick last week.
Wait, family show. Put the bottle down.
It is. Powerade Zero.
Yeah, I used to mix vodka in those bottles too.
I haven't tried that yet, but it wouldn't be vodka, I promise you. But this is grape, and it's okay. I like it all right. But if you get sick, you're worried about dehydrated, this stuff tastes really good. It's not terribly pricey, and it's good for you. So
I agree. You can find it on sale too a lot. So I had plenty of experience. And plus, if you're diabetic, it also helps too with the sugar-free stuff. Definitely.
Thank you, Stan, for your support, my friend. By the way, 2 Stans and Jody will be live on Friday nights on YouTube. I believe they start at 7 East or Standard.
7 o'clock real time.
Yeah, God's time. I don't know what. I guess it's 8 o'clock out there, wherever they're at on the East Coast. Jody's not actually on the East Coast, but she's got the East Coast time slot.
Yep, she's Tennessee.
CFNO.
What's going on, Lynn? How you doing? If I missed you, bud.
And we do have a bunch of people in chat tonight, and it is rolling right along. So thank you guys. Get in there. And Jody says 9 p.m. Eastern for her.
Right after Stan. Usually Stan will direct you over to where Jody's at.
Oh, I'm sure so. But, and that's the way it should be. We tried to do that when you followed us on Catfish Weekly. You got to go in with the people and work together with the people behind you. You just have to. I mean, you don't have to if they're, dicks, but
it's always better. It's always,
you know what I mean.
I agree.
Oh,
Stan, I'm reading that one. Stan says, no more Dems or Republicans. Lyle is starting the Panfish Party. A new rod and reel for every true American.
I don't see that part happening unless you're going to help finance them.
It wasn't him. It was me, Brian. Come on.
Yeah, not really. Hey, it wouldn't be no worse than what we got falling asleep all the time. Come on.
I'm like Lyle's Secret Service. Me and Brian B will take good care of you.
That's perfect. Yeah. You're very welcome, Stan. We're glad to help you guys. And don't forget, tomorrow night, you can watch Chad and Brian B and Freddie on the bait shop.
And Chris from Catfish Clothing.
Oh, yeah. I can't keep up with that. It took me a month to straighten out
people to that show. It's like
I know. It took me a month when Freddie remember he was
turned into like a rave over there.
It did. Dale Hayslip, welcome. Glad to see you in here. Frank says, one day I will hold up an award and say, look what I can do. Always wanted to say that. Something off the wall in front of a crowd waiting for a serious answer.
You want to come up on the show? We do it every week, Frank.
Absolutely. We had Frank on once. Again, maybe that's something we need to revisit. We had a great time with Frank. He was out in his fishing room and explained a lot of stuff about different products that he used when he was on our show. It was a really fun show. See,
we can send you over there and have him tattoo you.
No.
Get a big old Dodge Ram on your butt.
No. It's never going to happen. Even if I fall asleep, I better not wake up with that.
All right. You got to get in a kayak to go ice fishing or get a Dodge Ram head tattooed on your butt.
Neither one, buddy. Neither one. It's never going to happen. Oh, man. I told you if I ever got one, where it'd be and what it'd say.
When we were not going to repeat that here.
We are not going to go there tonight.
We didn't talk too much about spring fishing, did we? But we had a good time, didn't we, Lyle?
We have had a blast. I hope everyone in chat did. It's been really fun for us. We did do a little bit of talking about spring fishing and products. But no, we really didn't. I have some new jigs that I come out with that I think, I don't know if I'm the first and only one that's ever done what I've done, and we're not going to elaborate on until we find out how they work.
I'm going to put them to the test. Don't you worry.
Yeah, exactly. I do know Katie Dockery's caught some fish on them. James not so much, but it's James. So thank you, Joe Buck. We appreciate that. I sent Mark some for him to try out, and I sent some to Jerry Parker with an order that he wanted for him to try out. I don't remember how many of them I got in there. Maybe not enough for him to give him a true test, but all the fish I've caught on this spring have been on those, and they were the action of them is really good. So I'm hoping everybody has great success with them. And once we know for sure that they're going to be productive, then we'll tell people about them. But they look really nice, and so far so good. But we'll see how they go, because it's something that people that build them can all do, and people that just want to buy them, which a lot of people don't have time to hand tie or do stuff like that, and that's fine. That's what there's somebody out there, or me, or Eric, or you, or there's so many people that make them. That can do it.
Now. I got people coming to me wanting jig heads locally here, and I'm like, I know.
Don't have time for it. I understand. Smeater of the Cedars says, good show as usual. Great group. Thank you so much, buddy, for joining us. We appreciate it very, very much. Brian says, got to be the best in what I do. I got you, man.
If it ain't worth trying to do it right, it ain't worth trying at all.
Well, I think he's replying to this comment right here.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, you guys are a mess. It's no wonder we have so much fun, Mark.
I know. They're good people. They make it worth coming up here every week.
Absolutely. But I think that we did get off topic a little tonight. But
no, not us.
We didn't talk about food really. Thank you, Eric.
Did I tell you I made ham and bean soup in the crock pot yesterday? Oh my goodness, was it good?
I love
that. Just throw that out there. Oh my God, I'm gonna have. I didn't want to get any in my mustache before we started the show, so I'm waiting until after the show to warm some up. I think I put too much cayenne pepper. For me, that's no such thing. But Sheila kind of backed off a little bit in it.
I love spicy food, but it don't like me so much. So, I have to be very careful. I get heartburn really, really bad these days, but I do like it. But I can't eat it as hot as I used to. I used to didn't really get too hot for me. I'm within reason, but now it does. So, not sure.
I like the spicy stuff.
Yeah, I do too. I like to spice up my fish breading. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but a little cayenne pepper in there and some Old Bay and
I'm not a big Old Bay fan unless it's on crabs on crab. So I'm not big to have it in my breading, to be honest. But
I don't use a whole lot of that, but I do put a pretty good amount of cayenne in there. And
cayenne I like.
Black pepper too.
The 100%.
I like that. Yeah. I don't add salt because Most
Just trust me, I eat enough salt for the both of us, Lyle. Don't you
well, I
worry
do
about
too. I got a salt shaker sitting right here. But most fish breading has plenty of salt in it, in my opinion. And I don't make my own. I know a lady that makes her own breading, has a recipe for it. She hasn't told me what it is. I really am kind of heartbroken about that. But one of these days she's going to call me and I'm going to say, "Hey, look, I need that recipe." I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Brian says bait tank is now filling. Sounds like
That'll be me tomorrow getting that set up.
Absolutely. Good for you. I hope you guys get it. Brian B says Old Bay wings are awesome. Sounds good to me.
Actually, I have had those once. They are pretty good, Brian. Now I want hot wings.
I like hot wings.
Lyle, they opened up a new takeout place here. It's just a little storefront, no chairs. You just walk in, pick your food up, and go. It's called
Perfect.
Fried Shrimp and Wings. That's it. That's the name of the place.
Fried shrimp? That's the name of it?
That's the name of it. I'll send you pictures.
I already love that place. I wonder if they'll DoorDash me some.
They probably will. I don't know. They'll DoorDash me some.
That's not quite as good. Dale Hazel says, Old Bay seasoning and shrimp boil, then soak my catfish in the juices.
Ooh, that doesn't sound
bad. That doesn't sound too bad. Anything with shrimp on it's got to be good. Just has to be. All I can say about that.
Or crab, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I like crabs too. Lobster. Any
I like lobster. It's not my favorite. I'd rather have crab than. See, we're going on a food tangent here, Lyle. We're two hungry boys up here.
We really this year we talked about it a couple times. We need to do
easy to keep it close to your chest. We ain't talking.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk later.
We've talked about it. We'll have to do that. All right. Two Stan says, ha ha ha. Can't seem to find cherrywood fly rod. Do they still make them? I haven't seen them in a long time, Mike, so I don't think they do. But I could be wrong about that. I thought they quit making the regular cherry wood rods. But I'm glad they did it because I really do like them. And I think anybody that actually would try them would be delightfully satisfied for the price of what you get. And you can buy them many places. I know Bass Pro handles them. What is the house brand Bass Pro handles? I use their stuff for years with great success. Power
Pro?
No. Power something.
I don't know. I thought everything was just labeled Bass Pro Shops at Bass
Well,
Pro.
it didn't used to be. I don't know if it changed or not, but Power something was their house brand. I used them for catfishing. I used them for bass fishing. I used them for crappie fishing. They was all fiberglass rods, very durable, fairly sensitive, and they was really inexpensive. New spot here. Shrimp and fish are awesome. Sweet. And you're talking my language, man.
100%.
But yeah, that Power something. I don't remember now what they was called. Maybe North Shore Angler is Bass Pro. I don't know. It could be Jody. I don't know.
An employee or an actual Bass Pro? Could be either way, Jody.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyhow, they used to call Power something was the name of them. They was gray colored. Very, very good quality stuff for the money. Frank said we need to start trading food. We have walleye, panfish, some salmon here. Start trading for crabs, oysters, and saltwater fish. Freeze it and send it. Oh man, I do like oysters too.
If I get some salmon, I might be able to make a call over to my buddy Two Stands because I know His son picks him up some blue crabs once in a great while.
Sweet. Hey, there's Quiet Man Curtis. You almost missed us, Curtis. But glad you made it. Always a pleasure to have you in our chat. Power Pro. Bass Pro Power Plus. That was it, Stan. But I used to use them a lot, and I had no trouble with them whatsoever. Very good quality for the money. I don't know if they still sell those or not. Oh boy, Brian's got it going on now. Saturday night live cook-off in the future.
There you go.
Enter. She's already won on a cook-off. She can't enter. Happened to everybody give Jody so much trouble about not being able to cook, and what she do? She goes to Catfish Conference and went to Catfish cook-off.
I don't know. I got a detective working on that to figure out exactly how she cheated her way into winning that award. Just kidding, Jody. Just kidding.
Are you saying she might have had to pay off 3 or 4 judges?
Is that how it's done?
I don't know. I think it's wonderful that she.
That's
won.
how the Democrats do it. Did I say that out loud? Well, we're going to get in trouble. Let's end this.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Don't forget Chad and Brian and Freddie tomorrow night, Jody and Stan on Friday night. I don't know who's on Saturday and Sunday.
There's a tournament this weekend, I believe. I don't know the details. I'm sure you guys can find it out there. You got to be subbed to everybody in here. You'll absolutely know it's there. Catfish Weekly on Monday nights, Roger and Creole on Tuesday nights, and you know where to find the rest of them. Those are the regular ones that I know of.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week right here on Panfish Nation.
Get out.